Alexis, I can't see you. There you are. Emily, I can't see you. Abby, I can't see you. Virtual students, there was a technology issue this morning. We've been working on it for probably 10 minutes or 15, maybe even 20, I think 20. So sorry for the delay this morning. Virtual students, you should be working on your Math Minute, and then you should find in Google Classroom a thing called Test Tutor that you will need to bring up. And as you work on it, it's a Monday to Friday activity. I'll be grading it and sending it, letting you make corrections on it through Friday. So you'll have to send it to me so that I can grade it. So you'll do it as a turn-in option. So I'll be working with the class on that. Here at school, they have a paper copy. I'll give you a final grade on that on Friday. Emily and Abby, I still don't see you, so please let me see you. Abby, you're not there. All right, I want to talk to you about the test tutor first. The test tutor is a Monday to Friday activity, okay? The final grade will happen on Friday. However, every day I will grade what you have done. A C means it is correct, and X means that it is wrong. C means it's correct, and X means it is wrong. If it is wrong, you have the opportunity to fix it by Friday. Okay? Your final grade is on Friday. All right? Now, on that paper, I believe there are W's beside some of the problems, are there? Yeah. That means you have to have work to prove it. Your work has to correctly prove it. If I put a W there, another W like when I'm grading it, then your work is not correctly proving it. Does that make sense? So you might have a right answer, but your work does not correctly prove it. Okay? So W means you need to show work. If I put another W there, that means you did not correctly show the work to prove it. Oh, Ezra, you may move back over here. I'm sorry. Our technology is fixed. Sorry. So, in years past, when we didn't have to be all spread out, not touch, blah, 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 every day you threw this paper into a tray over there in the window. I graded it at night. The next day you picked it up, and that just was our revolving door, right? And that was a pretty slick system. It worked well. It, time-wise, was perfect in a perfect world, right? So this year, we can't do that. So this year, my hope is that during study time, I can come around and check your papers. Well, reality says that's not going to happen perfectly either. So those papers will have to be left in your yellow folders, which means when you put your folders in your cubbies back there, those folders have to be on top so that I am not digging and wasting all my time digging for these papers. And these papers need to be in that folder so that I can easily grab it and grade it. Does that make sense? Okay? These don't go home. These are stay at school papers. Does that make sense? Okay? You can ask me questions about things. You've got your resources you can use, but these are not go home papers. All right? Those of you at home, you'll be turning them in to me as a turn-in through Google Classroom, and I'll be checking them nightly. And then again, you can be making corrections on them. All right, does anybody have questions on test tutor? Final grade is on Friday. Okay? Any questions on that? So, in theory, every day when you get done with your math minute, you might have a few more minutes to work on that before we go over an assignment and get going on our regular classwork. Does that make sense? Questions? Yes.
So what happens if we don't get this done by Friday?
Then you get the points that you got correct by Friday. And it's your grade out of 10. Okay? Because we feel like we are giving enough class time for you to get all 10 points by Friday. Okay? Any other questions? Yes?
Do you get to work on it a little bit on Friday? Or is it just...
In theory, yes. Yeah. Because we have study time every day. So you get to, Friday would be your last chance. So most Fridays you have study time also. Okay. So Friday I may have you turn it in, hand it to me or something. So that I'm not going through all your folders, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Okay? I'm having to come up with a new plan this year. My old plan worked well. Okay, figure out a new plan. We got to make sure it'll work well for everybody. Okay? We may have to tweak it a little bit. All right? I already see I forgot to 3-hole punch this dude. Because when it's all graded, it'll go in your binder. And you can't all go 3-hole punch it. I have to 3-hole punch it. There's a little glitch there. Darn it. Okay. All right, questions? Okay, then I believe we're ready to go over Math Minute 8. Is that correct? Okay. Let me bring up Math Minute 8 up here. Let me bring up Math Minute 8. Please.
I just realized that.
No, I don't want to. Okay. I want to bring it up. Technology is not working this morning. Not fun when it's not working, and I like it. There we go. All righty. So let's begin with number 1, we're rounding 684 to the nearest hundred. 684 to the nearest hundred.
I got it.
Jonathan? 700. What told you that it would be 700?
Because that is not 8 when you're on 6 when you're going down.
Okay, so the 8 in the tens place is closer to the next 100, so we would round that up to 700. So this would be between 600 and 700, and it's closer to 700 than it is 600. Good. How about adding 107 and 314? What is the sum in Peyton?
421.
421. And number 3, the word equation. The word equation tells us there's going to be an equal sign in there. The word product. The word product. What does the word product tell us we need to be doing as an operation? As an, oh, I did attendance wrong. I did auger. What does product tell us? What does product tell us? Product.
The answer?
The answer to what?
The like the
What operation will we be using? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. You want to pass? She passed. Multiplication. The answer to multiplication. So we have 12 times 8 equals n. Could be one equation, or, Jonathan? 12 times 8 equals 96. I'm accepting one of those. All right? Okay? Number 4. 7 times 8, everybody? Well, I heard some of you, but I don't know what happened to the rest of you. All right. Number 5. A prime number is a whole number greater than 1 that has only itself and 1 as factors. That would be a true statement. That is its definition. That is its definition. All right? That is its definition. Abby, are you following along? Okay, would you please sit up and follow along? Thank you. All right. And number 6, the time that is 11 hours after 5 p.m. When we think about a clock, what's 12 hours after 5 p.m.? 12 hours after 5 p.m. Lane?
it would be 5 a.m.
It would be 5 a.m., but we only want 11 hours, so what time would that be?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. Okay? And number 7, 64 divided by 8, everybody, is 8. And number 8, what is the name of this shape? Well, how many sides does this shape have? How many sides does this shape have? Anybody from home want to join in? Anybody from home? How many sides does this shape have? How many sides? Diana?
8.
It has 8 sides, so therefore it is? Huh? Anybody know? 8 sides, Jonathan? Octagon. Octagon. 1 gram is how many milligrams? 1 gram is how many milligrams, Peyton?
1,000?
He says 1,000. Anybody want to disagree with that? And then we have 203 divided by 2. 203. We're dividing it by 2. 2 goes into 2 how many times? Into 0 how many times? Into 3 how many times? And we have a remainder of? It would be 101 with a remainder of 1. 101 with a remainder of 1. And now we?
Go to your fighter and get your root.
That's right. We track our score. Today is the 24th. The 24th. So please get that recorded. Please get that recorded.
No, I haven't got one now. So one.
You guys at home, make sure you get that recorded in your binders.
right, Friday, we worked on 3 properties. 3 properties. And in those 3 properties, we used addition and we used multiplication. So, on your Chromebooks, or on a piece of paper, I don't care which, whatever you're comfortable with, you need something blank to write on because we're going to do some practice with those properties. So those of you at home, either on your Chromebooks or on a blank piece of paper, we're going to do some practice with some properties. And can you see the board from anywhere? It seems like just keep it forward. All right, so one of our properties was the commutative property. You do not need to write this down. One was the associative property. And one was the identity property. We had both of them, addition and multiplication. Okay? Again, you don't have to write these down. We're going to do some examples with each. All right? Yes?
I don't have a pencil.
You don't have a pencil. Well, sir, that can be an issue because we can't share this year. Let me see if I can find one. Does anybody remember what the commutative property tells us we can do? Remember that from Friday. Okay, what does the commutative property tell us?
Change the order?
We can change the order. Good. We can change the order. All right. So the commutative property tells us we can change the order. We will get the same sum or the same product. Same sum or the same product. Okay? So this has to do with changing the order. And we'll get the same sum or the same product. Okay? And remember what the associative product tells, or property tells us we can do. Yeah, we can change the grouping. And again, we get the same sum or the same product. Good. How about the identity property? Anybody remember what that one is? Anybody remember what that one is? Yes. And you are Peyton, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, our sum and our product stay the same. And if we're using the identity property of addition, what have we added? What have we added if it stays the same? 0. We've added 0. And if it stays the same and we multiply, what have we multiplied by? 1. We've multiplied by 1. All right? Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So, might call this choice A, choice B, and choice C. All right? Choice A, B, and C. Okay? You ready? Or actually, this will be easier. Let's do 1, 2, 3, because you can use your hands then. Let's do it that way. I'm trying to get away from always using numbers. But you know what? You can use your hands and use numbers. Let's do that choice 1, 2, or 3. Then you can show me with your hands which one you're going to choose. Does that make sense? Okay? All right. So here we go. Here we go. On your paper, I want you to write down these examples. All right? Write down that example. And can you see it in green? You may have trouble seeing green. All right. Show hands in. Which property do you think it represents? 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3? Your fingers up. 1, 2, or 3? Which property? Some of you think it's the commutative property. Some of you think it's the associative property. Did we change the order? Did we change the grouping, or did it stay the same?
And those of you at home, I need to see the same from you. Finger 1, 2, or 3. Need to see it quick. Alexis, what do you think? All right. It was number 2, the associative. Do you see how I grouped the 5 and the 7 together? And then I grouped the 7 and the 3 together. It was the associative. Now, why would I want to group the 7 and the 3 together instead of the 5 and the 7? 7 and 3 gives me 10. And remember, we want to look for groups of 10 or multiples of 10. Okay? All right? We good with that? Okay. How about this one? What property do you think I used here? 1, 2, or 3? Show me with your fingers. It was 1. I changed the order of the 4 and the 5. I kept the 2 and the 4 grouped together though, didn't I? Okay, I changed the order of the 4 and the 5.
Now, I would be going towards grouping the 5 and the 2 together. Why?
Oh, it didn't work.
It would make 10. So if I wanted to keep going with this problem, eventually I would want to group the 5 and the 2 together, and then that would be what property?
Associative.
The associative property. Okay? But my first step was to get that order changed around. All right, how about this one? What property?
Marcus, which property? Can't see your fingers. Emily, I can't see you.
It won't let me start
It
my
won't-
video.
Okay, can you tell me how many fingers you would have up?
Probably around 2.
So you think it's the associative property? Marcus, how many fingers do you have up? Okay.
All right, this is the identity property because we added 0 and we kept the 8. It didn't change how many we started with, right? Okay, it stayed the same. How about this one? (21) times 1 equals 21. Show me with your fingers which property you think that is.
Dante and Alexis, can I see what you think? Dante, which property do you think it is? Alexis, what property do you think it is? All right.
It indeed is the identity property again. We multiplied by 1. We kept the 21. It didn't change the identity, right? Okay. How about that one? What property do you think it is?
There's Emily.
I've got some 1s, lots of 1s, got a couple 2s. It indeed is the commutative because all I did was change the 8 and the 5 around. I changed the order. Okay? You pretty good with this? All right. Does that bring it back to you pretty good? Okay. Next thing we're going to do, assuming that all the technology is going to work perfect, right? When technology doesn't work, things flop, right? Like 20 minutes of trying to get Zoom to work today. All right, I'm going to erase all this. I'm going to get out of that. I'm going to go home. We're going to go to, let's see if I go there. Nope, that's not where I want to go. I'm going to go there. We're going to go there. And we're going to go there. Yeah, we're going to go to computers. We're going to go And I assume you guys have played Kahoot before, is that correct? Okay.
Those of you at home, you can play along too, can't you?
Don't need to stay on because the other room's getting annoyed terribly by it. Type in your first name only.
Am I correct? You guys at home can play along? Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can. At home, can you guys play along? Zane, can you guys play? Abby, where are you? Marcus, can you guys play? Emily, can you get on? Lily, did you get on? Thank you. I appreciate you responding to me, Lily. If you can get on, then I'll assume the others can.
Okay, again, your first name only is all we need. Okay, again, I don't know who's doing this. That is not a first name. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start it. Here we go. Ready? Remember, it's not just speed, it is accuracy. Read it carefully, make your choices carefully. Here we go. What?
I'm looking at. I think we need.
Okay. So we changed the order, making it the community property. It is additions. You need to make sure you chose community property as addition. All right.
I got it wrong.
All right. Here we go. Community property multiplication, associated property of multiplication. I'm not sure why it's not. There we go. Okay, it changed the order, so it's a community property, and it was of multiplication, not addition, folks. It was multiplication. Okay? Okay, got better. We regrouped. Instead of grouping the 10 and 7 together, we grouped the 8 and the 10 together. So it's the associative property, and it was multiplication. Yes?
I pressed the green one and it said I was wrong. It's like, I didn't get it right.
I don't know. I didn't know, gave you interest. It regrouped. The 7 and 5 became the grouping of 8 and 7. It was addition, so it's the associated property of addition. What's going on? What? But it's saying what?
It's time's up.
Looking at in time.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll try to come back there this time and see what's going on. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. All right, good. Good. So, no matter that these are letters, they change the order of the letters. Remember, these are variables in place of numbers. All right? We're getting better. We regrouped. Instead of having the B and the C in the groupings, we put the A and the B in the groupings. That makes it the associative property, and it was addition. Good. Oh, darn. What happened here? They switched the A and the A around. Switching the order is the commutative property of addition. They didn't change what they grouped together. They still had the A and the A grouped together, didn't they? They just changed the order. So it's the commutative property of addition. This means 2 times x. This means x times 2. 2 times x times 5, x times 2 times 5. So again, they just changed the order of the 2 and the x, didn't they?
Oh, I thought it was a grouping for a second.
They grouped the 2 and the x together. They grouped the 2 and the x together. This is commutative property of multiplication. 7 times x times 5, x times 7 times 5. 7 times x times 5, x times 7 times 5. That's what that dot means, it's multiplication. Good, good. It was a commutative property of multiplication. Good. All right.
I used to be in 27.
Well, Finley. Wow. Finley ended up on top. All right. Okay, good. Good. Okay. All right, good job. Okay, if you were still confused on those, you know what you need to be going back and looking at. Okay? All right. Questions? Yes. Ezra,
One had to read.
can you take your mask off so I can understand you, please?
One had to read connect, so I got the answer wrong. The other the answer times up, and I had to read connect.
Ah, that's a bummer. Okay, any other questions? Okay, because this is the first time that we've had test tutor, I'm going to give you a lot of extra time to be working on it. Does that make sense? Okay. So, close your Chromebooks. Get your test tutor front and center. Yes. Honey, I can't understand you. What's wrong with it? Why didn't you charge it last night?
I did. how you took it out.
What?
I don't know, hard to yesterday.
Plug it into mine. I'm not having to go down there. Okay, those of you at home, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. If you have a question, you are welcome to ask questions. Just unmute yourselves and say Mrs. Allen, but I'm going to stop recording because we're